Today we continue with Exodus chapters 13 to 16. I will read key passages and I encourage you to read the full chapters on your own. The full reading reference is provided for you below. Israel is now come out of Egypt, but being delivered is not the same as being transformed. God now begins to lead them and teach them. In Exodus 13 and verse 2, God says, "Consecrate to me every firstborn." This is about remembrance. What was spared belongs to God. In Exodus 13 and 3, Moses says, "Remember this day you came out of Egypt." Deliverance must be remembered or it will be forgotten. In Exodus chapter 13 and verse 9, it is to be like a sign on their hands and foreheads. Not just an event, but something that shapes how they live. In Exodus chapter 13, 17 to 18, God does something unexpected. He does not lead them the shortest way, but God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country. Why? Because they were not ready for war. God's path is not just about distinction, but preparation. In Exodus 13, 21 to 22, the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud and fire by night. God is not just giving direction, He is present, visible, continuous, personal. Then in Exodus 14, the situation changes quickly. 14, 1 to 2, God tells them to camp by the sea. This seems like a trap. 14 and 3, Pharaoh says they are wandering. The desert has trapped them. From a human's perspective, it looks like confusion, but God is positioning something. Exodus 14 and 10, the people see Egypt coming. Fear returns immediately. In Exodus 14, 11 to 12, they say, was it because there were no graves in Egypt? They would rather go back than face uncertainty. Even after deliverance, the mindset of bondage can remain. Exodus 14, 13 to 14, Moses says, "Do not be afraid. The Lord will fight for you." Exodus 14, 15 to 16, God says, "Why are you crying out to me?" Tell the Israelites to move on. Faith requires movement. In Exodus 14, 21 to 22, the sea parts. The path appears where there was none. Exodus 14, 26 to 28, the waters return over Egypt. What pursued them is now removed. Exodus 14 and 31, the people feared the Lord and put their trust in Him. Then in Exodus 15, they respond with worship. Exodus 15 and 1, I will sing to the Lord, for He is highly exalted. In Exodus 15 and 6, they declare, your right hand, Lord, was majestic in power. Your right hand, Lord, shattered the enemy. This is recognition. They are not just celebrating escape. They are acknowledging who delivered them. 15 and 11. Who among the gods is like you, Lord? But then, very quickly, the tone shifts. Exodus 15, 22 to 24, they find no water and begin to complain. From worship to complaint in a short time. 15 and verse 25, God shows Moses a piece of wood and the water becomes drinkable. God provides, but also teaches. Exodus 15 and 26, he says, I am the Lord who heals you. Then in Exodus 16, the testing continues. Exodus 16, 2 to 3, the whole community grumbles. If only we had died in Egypt. Bondage is starting to look better than dependence. 16 and 4, God says, I will rain down bread from heaven, manna, daily provision. Exodus 16, 16 to 18, each gather what they need. 16, 19 to 20, they are told not to keep it overnight, but some do, and it spoils. God is teaching trust for the day. Exodus 16, 23 to 24, they gather double before the Sabbath. Rest is introduced. Exodus 16, 27 to 28, some still go out on the seventh day. They are still learning. Exodus 16 and 35, they eat manna for 40 years. Now, what do these chapters show us? Deliverance must be remembered. Exodus 13 and 3. God leads with purpose even when the path seems longer. Exodus 13 and 17. God's presence is constant. Exodus 13 and 21. Fear can return even after breakthrough. Exodus 14 and 10. God makes a way where none exist. Exodus 14 and 21. God's power defeats the enemy. Exodus 15 and 6. Worship can turn to complaint quickly. Exodus 15 and 24. And God provides daily, not all at once. Exodus 16 and 4. Dependence on God must be learned. Exodus 16 and 20. Now let's connect all of this across Scripture. God's power in Exodus 15 and 6 connects to Psalm 118 and 16. God leading his people in Exodus 13 and 21 connects to Psalm 23, 2 to 3. The crossing of the Red Sea reflects 1 Corinthians 10, 1 to 2. God as healer in Exodus 15 and 26 connects to Psalm 103, verse 3. The manna in Exodus 16 points to John 6 and 35, and daily dependence reflects Matthew 6 and verse 11. Now, I encourage you to read chapters 13 to 16 in full. Watch how God leads, provides, and teaches his people step by step. Notice how quickly perspective can shift and how God is patient in response. This is not just a journey out of Egypt. It is a journey to trust God. The story continues tomorrow.